Good afternoon everyone, my name is Hallimar and today I'll be reviewing the 7th episode of Snowpiercer Season 3. But before I start, to keep this community growing and to stay informed on the latest Snowpiercer content, please just take a second of your time to subscribe. It costs nothing and you won't regret it. With that out of the way, let's dive right into the video. There is no real light way of putting this, so I'll be blunt. This episode was the absolute worst out of every single episode in the entire Snowpiercer series. There's no argument otherwise. It was honestly the worst episode I have ever had the misfortune of viewing, and I thought that season 3 was going to be bad, and there's probably argument for it being bad, and maybe with a bit of retrospective, the entirety of season 3 will be bad. But this episode goes beyond that on a fundamental level, with Layton realizing how much of a fraud he is, Audrey tapping back into her old ways, Wilford starting his redemption. There's no villains in the story, there's no tension, and so I guess they just had to fabricate a bunch of it with this stupid hallucination arc, which had way more structure than it should have. There's no reason that Layton's vision should have been so concrete as to have characters like Bess have some meta view of Layton's mind, or Liana being able to give Layton a letter that he might not have even known existed, and for him to read it. And then you jump over to when he wakes up in Ash's reactor after a fake cliffhanger. It turns out that he's the one who created the bloodstain apparently, which doesn't make any sense, so it has to be an allegory for something, but the allegory isn't quite understandable. I feel like the showrunners tried to go for some deeper message outside of the obvious that New Eden was a lie and that Layton was just trying to fabricate a lie to give everyone hope. I feel like they're trying to go for something a bit deeper than that, but they failed terribly. And then with the roaring 20s vibes and the jungle piercer, as people are calling it now, it all just seemed so much like filler. It felt like this entire episode was randomly generated because it was absolute shit in almost every single regard. I was hoping to write a review about how good this episode was and how it's got me psyched up for the season finale, but it just doesn't. It gives almost nothing to work with for the next episode, much less the season finale, and it gave me nothing in terms of straws to nip at and theorize with. We just didn't get that kind of episode. Instead of building up the finale, the showrunners decided to make an all-filler episode aside from the last minute or two, and then a little bit in the center of the episode where Wilford figures out that Melanie may still be alive, that there's another train out there because of a track switch that happened in Europe. But outside of that, Episode 9 is going to have to build up Episode 10. That's all Episode 10 is going to get, unless it decide to make Episode 9 a filler again. And I saw the preview. Hopefully that won't be the case. Hopefully the preview isn't overselling Episode 9, but there really is no guarantee. But anyway, that's all I really have to say about this shit episode. See ya.